So I'm going to read an excerpt from the beginning of the book. So we pick up the story of Jenna Lynn. She's 22 years old and she is reflecting on her childhood at growing up in Sydney. I wasn't always a dishonest kid, though I certainly wasn't a typical kid either. I do recall the year or so I had a normal life. Year 1. I was Mrs. R's favourite student. In the classroom, I sat on the carpet with my legs crossed, back straight. When Mrs. R gave an instruction, I would bolt straight to it. I was always eager to be loved, especially by my teachers. Jenny Lynn was the only other Asian in my class. She was much prettier than me, though I didn't know it back then. I just thought people preferred her because her skin was whiter than mine. I had darker skin back then. I was bark, dirt, chocolate milk. I didn't mind it though. Sometimes people thought I was Native American, which made me feel special because I loved Pocahontas. She was dark-skinned and beautiful. A white man with a plain name fell in love with her. After seeing that movie, I began to believe that it was possible for someone like me to be loved, or at least to be noticed by a man, the right kind of man. Before Jenny Lee, before Mrs. R, there was the violin. My mother told me I'd begged for lessons after I saw someone playing on television in preschool, but I don't remember that. By the time I started year 2, I'd played in 2 competitions around Australia. My mother wanted me to stay in school, though she had been told by her friends that a child with my talent should be sent away to America, to Germany, places that sounded like suburbs or towns I'd not yet visited because my parents didn't have time to take us anywhere. I'd only seen the city a handful of times when my mother took us to my father's dental surgery in Chinatown. I forgot to eat sometimes. I was so consumed by practice. When it became really bad during the first year of touring, this was when I was 8, my mother kept a food diary to make sure I ate at regular hours. Her bag was full of muesli bars, tubes of nuts and dried fruit. I found toilet breaks distracting too. Every second away from my violin made me anxious. Later they called me obsessive compulsive and tried to medicate me, but I refused to take anything in case it affected my playing,